There's our theme.
Check, check, check.
1 2 1 2.
Check, check, check.
1 2 1 2.
Boom. Do, 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 do,
Do
do, do.
do 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 do. Two bros in the house.
Two bros in the house.
We're going to Chad's house. In the bottom Chad's house. Freezing our ass up in the house.
All right. Let's get this party started. Good morning, good afternoon.
What's happening?
Two Bros
No,
Podcast
it's good morning.
episode. It is still
It
good
is morning.
Yes, it
It's
is.
10. It's horny. It's morning.
Wow, love it. Love it. Two Bros Podcast episode 44. The Obama issue, number 44.
The Obama issue?
Yeah, number 44.
Oh, the four. Okay.
The 4.
I'm like, so the Obama issue. What happened?
What is he coming?
Oh, the press.
Now listen, everybody. Oh, that was Clinton, actually.
That's close.
Close. They kind of sound the same. They have that. You know, he has a very annoying, for me, whistle.
A whistle?
Like when it's
Who, Clinton or Obama?
Obama.
Oh, yeah? He does that
if you
little...
listen to his speeches, drives me nuts. You know, because it's...
That little...
Yeah.
That little, okay.
We got to fight this. Well, anybody that has that little whistle... Michelle. Drives me nuts. Because once you hear it, you lock in, and then you can't not hear it.
You ever hear Dan Rather? He's got an online interview show, and he interviews people every once in a while.
Really?
He's got that thing where, like, I guess his back molars are always hitting.
Oh.
So you so he'll talk, and then you just hear that
fuck.
clack.
That even hurts
you hear that
me.
clack of his back molars every once in a while.
That hurts when you just did that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I'm very teeth. Yeah, like the 12 Monkeys, right? You know.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite movies, and he always it's in the teeth. The vibration of the molars, which is like, man, I get.
Well, remember there was a time when everybody thought that when you were getting cavities filled, they were actually putting devices in your teeth to track you. Which I would not put it past any group of people to say, hey, let's try to do this. Let's see if we get, like, if prisoners, like, for some reason got to get dental work,
right? And
it's okay. Well, we'll implant something just so that we can check up on you. I mean, that's the I guess prisoners are in, like, the realm of experimentation, right?
Well, I
like
can remember
if you're gonna check shit out, let's do it on
prisoners, right?
Prisoners.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of gave up your rights to say no,
right.
Don't do this on me,
Right?
I kind of remember getting fillings back in the days, and then somehow chewing on a piece of aluminum foil and seeing lightning, like you ever...
Well, you shouldn't do that. That's really...
Of course. But I mean, just put a piece of aluminum foil in my mouth somehow, and it touched the filling.
Yeah.
And oh gosh, what a blank stare. So that's not fun.
No, it's not
at all. Nor is it intended to be.
But that begs the question of why are you doing that? It's like,
well, because I did weird shit as a kid. I tried almost every fucking combination possible to figure shit out, like metal. Oh, I remember it was like we were faking around with the Jaws. Remember him, the James Bond guy with the metal teeth?
Yeah.
So we put the foil in, and
right.
You feel like fucking lightning bolt strike. Not fun. Not fun. The sticking the bobby pin in the fucking thing, see if it'll give you a jolt.
Yeah.
That's not fun either.
That's not fun either. That's how you learn shit.
And it's not a zap, it's a hum.
Yeah.
You ever been electrocuted?
And it's enough, and thank God it's enough to just say, don't do that no more.
Yes.
And stop, because you keep doing this, and then you will fry. You will be a fucking well done burger. So
eventually, if it goes through and has nowhere, that's what they say is if it gets to the point where it has nowhere else to go, that's when it starts burning.
Right.
So at some point when you get it goes through you, oh shit.
Right.
Whew. Charge your battery really fast.
There was when I was in the military and I was an electrician, there was a dude that got
zapped.
That got electrocuted.
Ow.
And they had to kick him off the thing because you couldn't. I mean, if you touch him, then you'd get electrocuted yourself. So you had to kick him off.
Oh my gosh.
The apparatus, something called a bus bar.
Oh man, I mean, I've heard weird stories of some people. I had a friend who passed away, or allegedly his uncle something passed away because he was working in a house, moving and everything else, and he was sweaty. He was super sweaty, and leaned up against an outlet to have a coffee or something, and the sweat just like, and he sat there and was frying. You know, rumors though. I don't know.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know.
Might have just been drunk.
No pun intended. So, how was your week? It was simple, right?
It was nothing eventful going on in the week. I did notice something though. I did notice as I'm going back and forth on the train station, how many fat female police officers I noticed this week. And
Chubby Patrol?
I don't know if I like that. I don't know, because we had this conversation last week about, hey, look, you don't want your police officers, sitting around flipping on their phone. You want them thugging. You want them, checking shit out. You want them looking around and alert,
being
and
attentive,
stuff like that.
Hey,
but then if something goes down, you want them to be able to react.
Right.
Now, if somebody's walking up and down the street, an official person, got their mouth open and stuff. And it's it's bad enough you're bad enough is not the what I'm trying to say is, but you're also female, so the perception is you are weaker.
Okay.
You're not as strong as a man. I know that a lot of people don't like saying shit like that, but that's what it is. Your average female is not as strong as your average male. Yes, there are some women who could kick my ass up and down. Yes. But if you are the person who, hey, I either get public assistance or sign up to go for a fucking police officer's exam, got my police officer's exam, and you kind of treat the two the same. Yeah. That it just bothered me. Okay. I saw it a couple times and I was like, I mean, because my tax dollars pay for that.
Yeah.
My taxes pay for that. And I thought you had to be in some form of physical
shape,
prowess to be a police officer.
Well, it would probably be, and again, I'm only guessing, the type of officer, because, the ticket agents are now under the police department, so they wear the same.
Oh, they're not that separate? Like, I thought Department of Traffic was a whole different.
No, they're NYPD.
Oh, okay. So maybe it was that.
You saw a lot of ticket agents,
Maybe I saw a couple tickets. I know I saw a couple who were, they have the stations where they will come and check your bag or ask you to check your bag or some shit like that. Yeah. And so maybe if that's all you're doing. But even then, you're supposed to respond to shit.
Yeah.
If something happens.
Right. You are supposed to be an ambassador of the police department.
Right. If you're checking bags and some shit goes down over there, you say, well, I don't do crime. I just do bags.
Woodchuck the gray squirrel.
Right, exactly. They're fighting over there. Somebody get over there. Yeah. Somebody.
Send help. Yeah. That is somewhat troublesome when you see. But listen. It's 6 or half a dozen these days. I guess you can get the best of the best and the worst of the worst, and everybody selfishly wants the right. If that chisel face cop comes up to you with the super cop, he's probably, if he's coming to me, he's too much. He's too aggressive.
Too much, right? Yeah, too amped up.
So they don't have the medium. There is probably, and I'm not saying all.
Probably
cops.
most of them are in that realm, but the ones you deal with, unfortunately.
Yeah. I had a friend
can be an extreme.
Egbert Lindo. He worked with me at Pergament.
Okay,
but he was a cop also. You remember Lindo?
Yes.
I think he knew you.
Egbert, yes.
Egbert Lindo. He worked with me at Pergament. Cool as fuck, and was a cop. Mm-hmm. Actually, after he left Pergament, I think he went to be a cop, and then I used to see him all the time, and then he disappeared. He was a cool guy. Coolest fucking cop you could ever see. Right. He's like, man, listen, the law says this. You did that. Why don't you just keep it moving? He was a guy that would solve things. Like, he would just say, hey, you know what? It's not up to me. I'm not here to judge you guys or whatever else. Oh, he said this and he said that, and he says, look, is there a crime been committed here? Okay, because somebody would have to go there if there was, and both of you are here. Either both of you
gotta send somebody to jail,
or one of you. Right. So. Are you telling me he committed the crime and I arrested? And guys will be like, let's think about this a little bit.
Yeah.
listen, man, we're just having a little disagreement here. Okay, that sounds fine to me. Be on your way, you know.
Right.
And he would diffuse it and turn it down.
I think most cops are like that.
Yeah.
So, look, if you just keep it moving, then everything's cool.
Yeah.
You keep acting like a dick. You're putting me in a position to, now I got to do something.
Well, oddly enough, we, occasionally have my brother's Corrupt Mob, the motorcycle group. They do Bike Night Fridays, and I'm sorry I missed last night. Every Friday they usually have Bike Night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
they ride?
Well, no, they just at their clubhouse. They have a clubhouse.
Oh, okay.
And they party, and it's always other clubs come by. But the motorcycle community and the black motorcycle community is really it's a thing.
Moving.
It's a thing. They're big. Like
I didn't think it was, but then as I was looking at, because I knew the dudes that you got, and when I looked into it a little bit more, I was like, whoa, they're huge. It's not an offset thing. This is
some
a
clubs
big
have
community.
like 400 members. I mean, they have, and they go by the books. Like they got the bylaws. Some of them think they're little sons of anarchy. They watch the show and they
were playing.
Yeah, some of these guys really think they into this.
They just want a jacket.
You can't do this because that says it in the bylaw. But not, I'm like, dude, like
they just want to drink.
Like kind of club rules. I was like, well, if a woman's in a club, she has to, do what anybody says. I'm like, dude, all right, okay, it's his guy's wife. Like,
exactly.
It's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? No, she won't shine your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Right. She came to drop off some potato salad.
She was dropping off something. She wants to say hi to everybody.
Right.
Can you give her 5 minutes to just circulate the room, say, hey, what's up, and then bounce?
But I say this to say that, speaking of the police, occasionally, my level 1 crew, we used to cook outside, providing a service, so that while they embellish drinking beverages, they have food outside. Right. And we sell dinners and hamburgers. And we had a great summer. I mean, we used to come up with some crazy dishes. And then one day, and right next to it is the club, Island Breeze.
Oh, okay,
so
okay,
West Indian restaurant, new guy. Remember, shout out to Rob and his wife who run that place. And unfortunately, that's where my man Z the Barber was shot outside 2 summers ago. Wow, it's 2 summers ago already. And anyway, so we cook in the back. One day, the police come, right? And they just so a longer story short of that, a customer of mine with shirts was picking up an order. He was like, Chad, I had a rough day, man. I just need a beer. I said, we got some beers in the back. Come on back. He said, fuck that. I got a beer now in the car. He popped, and we come walk. He even had the brown bag with him. But, he knew how to do him, So he comes back there, takes a first sip of a cold 22-ounce Old English, because that's what he drinks. And these motherfuckers kicked the door open. Boom! You! Just him. ID. You. And I'm, oh shit, what the fuck happened? It just happened like that. So apparently they have a squad unit, a bar and restaurant unit now.
Okay.
That the NYPD has put out, because there's been a lot of bars and restaurants pop up all over. They're all over the place. I mean, especially the Caribbean ones, and which is great for the community. You have someplace to eat. You have different foods. You have you can try this place this week, and no different from any other community, right? When you go down Main Street of every town, you have a assortment of foods.
Every town has their own little spots.
Right. And sometimes you go to other people's town because they have something you don't have.
Right.
There may be a Mexican spot down in Hempstead, which has plethora of them.
Yes.
Due to the horse track, for whatever reason. And so I say this to say is that this guy comes up, and one of the officers was really nice, but he was like, bro, the captain saw you. And so he said,
but saw him what?
So, drink open container. We were outside. You were outside,
but he came in the club?
He busted out the back door of the club. We're in the back.
Okay.
Outside, in the yard. Still in private property.
But that's on private property. Isn't it?
It's still outside. So a parking lot. It's a parking lot. Okay. It's public.
Okay.
You can pull up and park, and you know what I'm saying? So it is open. It's outside.
Okay.
So we learned that. I mean, we didn't know. So we thought we're in the fence. And he was like, if you were in your backyard, you could fucking drink all you want. I can't say anything, but you're in a commercial space. So if you were in the parking lot of Green Acres, you can't sit and drink.
Right, I got you. Okay,
understand?
Okay.
So you're still outside. So I say this to say is he goes, yo, And he's like, dude, nah, I'm not giving you my license. Shit. I was like, either you run or you,
right,
you know what I'm saying, or something. There was nothing anybody could do. But the guy that was sitting to the side was like, bro, the guy, you know, the captain saw you, so ID, please, man. Don't make this hard. Just
right.
Now, equivalently to this is this. Here we go with the ocean again. And it does. You do hear the ocean.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it when I heard the playback.
Really?
No, I didn't hear it when I.
Oh, that's right. You heard me pull it out.
Right, I heard you pull it out. I didn't hear the
ocean.
What we're hearing on the playback. This is just like interference and stuff like that we're hearing. That everybody who's listening
doesn't know what we're talking about. But you did. Oh, I pulled the power. That's what it was.
No more
Power. Okay.
All right. So basically, you know, give up your license. You're blah blah blah.
Yeah. So the guy is telling us it's not even a crime. It is equivalent to the new law. Is same thing like when I got the fireworks and all this stuff. It's not a judge, a disappearance. It's equivalent to. It's not even a misdemeanor or it's not like a crime. It's a petty crime thing. It goes with the marijuana. All those things go into petty. And you basically, guilty, not guilty, it's like a ticket. You know what I'm saying? And it's not tied to your driver's license or anything else. So you don't lose points. You don't, nothing. It's just hey, guilty, not guilty. It's like pissing in the staircase, pissing in a tree or whatever else. So he was telling him, like, dude, you're not in trouble. Like, you're not. And this guy, because his job, obviously, he has a driving job or something. Right. And he was like, you weren't driving. You're standing outside. There's no ticket for driving, you know what I'm saying? So you got to know the law, I guess, and the guy was like, dude, it's $70 and you go pay them. It's a revenue thing, you know what I'm saying? Right. But the guy was nice enough to talk about, like,
talk it through,
but to explain this new program that they were heavily pushing, that they were heavily going after clubs and bars, and unfortunately, my friends got caught with a bottle of white Hennessy on the bar, you know what I mean, which is illegal.
It's illegal to have white Hennessy?
Sell.
Oh, to sell. They were selling. Oh.
Yeah. They had a signature drink with white Hennessy. Dum. No, I don't know if they had it on the bar, but they brought all the shit outside that they was like, you can't have this here.
Right.
Right. And then they just said someone brought it in. It was a gift. There was a party here, and it was a celebration.
So basically, they were hanging out in the wrong spot.
We were.
You were hanging out in the wrong spot. If you'd been in the backyard of the club,
or if we'd have been inside, it's a private club. You know what I'm saying? It's a social club, and would not have a problem. But I guess the revenue stream, the police. Giuliani said one time a long time ago that really pissed me off was, he said that if ticket sales, tickets are down, then the cops aren't doing their job. Yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Because it means you, the people, aren't doing your job as being better parkers. Like, doesn't that mean, like, it's like saying, oh, you guys, we know you're illegally parking. We know it's happening, and you're messing up our revenue.
Right.
But the citizens don't deserve the right to do it the correct way? Like, where's the faith of the citizen, right?
You shouldn't be attaching revenue to
people's misfortune.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you shouldn't be attaching you shouldn't say we should make X amount of dollars off of this.
Off of people's you fucking read the sign wrong, you asshole.
Right, exactly. It's not like I get it. And if you notice, a lot of these things happen, a lot of these like little tickets and stuff like that happen at the end of the month. Yes. Towards the end of the month,
conveniently,
where you gotta submit your stuff. I've heard you hear cops talking about it all the time. It says the end of the month I gotta increase my tabs. Yeah. Captain told me, he said, hey, look, man, you only had like 2 tabs this month, and it's the 22nd. It's 22nd now. It's pretty fucked up. So you got to get a couple tabs. So now that dude who you really wouldn't give a shit about, who jaywalked or walked across the street or has a cup of something in his hand as he's walking around, on the 5th of the month you wouldn't give a shit. Right. On the 25th of the month you're gonna stop him.
Well, the officer did tell us that if it's in an undescribed container, doesn't matter.
Undescribed container.
In other words, if I have beer in here,
a plain old cup
of beer
doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference. An open container.
Container.
That is a noticeably. It has to be without a doubt that it's
Right.
that. It can't, if it's even looks like beer,
Right.
it could be ginger ale, it could be anything else.
Right.
He cannot give you a ticket for it because he does not, unless he has the fucking tester kit
Mm-hmm.
and says you're drinking alcohol, open alcohol or whatever else, and he's not going to go there because
Right.
he'll lose the case.
Because you'll lose the case.
So one of the guys there, he's a jokester, Big Mo. He comes out with a fucking one of those Arizona bottles, you know, in the can that looks like a fucking 22 ounce wrapped in the neatly wrapped, and he's like, "What's going on here?" It's a big a Mike's Hard lemonade. It's one of those Arizona teas or something like that. Right. And the shit looks, and I'm like, "Yo, you fucking crazy!" And he's like, "What's going on here?" He's just looking for the trouble, knowing that he's completely got it under control. Like he's got, you know. Anyway, so that's that. I mean, the police force is we recognize that they should be in somewhat of shape, but we could differ on who's who, right?
What do you mean differ on who's who?
You have no idea what we're talking about. We started this talking about that there were some hefty officers,
Right.
but could be a differentiation.
Depending on the job you're doing. Yeah. No, that's
no. You should be in shape.
No,
right?
you should be, because if you're going to ask that officer to do
tasks,
you know, you should. I mean,
defensive tasks.
ultimately, you want them to pay the ultimate price, regardless of what position that they're in. You know, you want them to pay. I mean, I think, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think even if you are just a traffic cop or whatever, you still have to undergo a certain amount of firearm training. You still have to do all that other stuff, because push comes to shove,
you have to handle yourself.
You're gonna have to handle yourself or handle a scenario.
Do they? I don't think they have a firearm. I don't know. I mean, I'd be guessing. I
don't know. It's getting too fucking.
The uniform is somewhat overused, I guess, to the point where, I mean,
can be. One thing that pisses me off is when I see cops turn their fucking shit on just to get past the red light.
Yeah,
that pisses me off. Yeah.
Or when a cop double parks and
they're talking to another fucking cop, blocking traffic, and they're just
100%.
And you want to say, "Yo,
yeah,
the fuck out the way," so that we can, so we can move. And then if you do that, then they'll either ignore you or
they'll
if
pull
it's the
you
end
up.
of the month,
they'll get you. There was a guy at Bonefish. Officer pulls up. There's a fire hydrant right in front of Bonefish on the side, which is the only spot, like, if you parked in the street. He pulls up right there, Nassau County cop. Pulls up right in front of the fire hydrant. Comes inside. Has a drink. I don't know what he ordered, and I don't want to say that he was drinking, but drinks. I took a picture of the fucking car, and I was like, all right,
right.
This is gonna be my little.
This is gonna be a little
my little bird cage. Little Oh yeah. You guys don't do this. And I took a picture of him at the bar and the car parked at the thing, and I put them side by side, and I'm like, this is in the cloud, baby. This is my get out of jail free car.
This is it for me.
This is me. I got it. But I don't want to say that he was doing it, but the abuse of power is disgusting. And it's especially in this day and age. I don't think we don't need it. I mean, we're looking for the opposite. We're looking for the more heroes, the more people jumping in and, like you said, paying the ultimate price,
right,
and not being afraid to do so.
Right. Now they'll call it perks. They'll say it's perks.
Yeah, okay.
It's a perk that I can pull up in my squad car at a fire hydrant at lunchtime and go in and get something to eat and then not have to worry about any of that other shit.
You got this, Jerry?
I don't have. Yeah, exactly. I don't have to wait at a red light.
Yeah.
I can turn on red. I can do all that. I can double park. I could do all that. It's like the perks of the job. Dad told me this. Our dad told us this one time, because I remember when I was younger, before I realized how much of a dick he was, to say, hey, why do cops do this all the time? He said there were perks. Say if you worked at a restaurant, you know what, you get a free plate of food. If you worked at a clothing store, you get a discount on clothes. And so I guess that's what it is. But then it becomes abusive, and so just like you said, when it becomes abusive, then it's got to be like reined in a little bit.
I just think we have the law of averages of good versus bad. Like, at the end of the day, you just want to do more good than bad. So if you have more good cops, God bless. If more bad cops, it does. The scale has to be balanced, according to Thanos.
And in all fairness, you don't get credit for the good. You don't give him credit for the good.
No, because that's the job.
Right. That's part of the job, and it's kind of looked at it. That's what you're supposed to do.
And you're compensated.
But you never like nobody ever goes on and says, hey, you know what? This cop diffused a situation that could have gotten out of hand, man. Thank God for the New York Police Department. No, you rarely hear that. You hear this fucking cop came over and did blah 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 blah.
Well, I think we talked about it on a previous podcast, the Newburgh 5. You ever heard this story?
Yes.
You watched it? You seen the documentary?
The Newburgh 5, yes.
It came on HBO. The story was under wraps for so long because of legal issues, etc. Right. And they were able to release it. And the best part of it, because I remember when it happened, and Ray Kelly was the commissioner at the time, and they said, thank God for the swift action of the NYPD. We thwarted a terrorist attack. Right. Thwarted.
Right.
Meanwhile, they created it.
Right.
It's insane.
Right.
It's insane. Right.
Spin.
It's insane that you created a situation that should not have been anyway.
Right.
And then you thwarted it. You stopped it.
Right.
How do you get credit for that? How do you? That bugs me out.
Yeah.
And that's tips the iceberg of where people start becoming conspiracy theories. You start looking at
conspiracy theorists. You become jaded.
Yes.
You say it's like, okay, well, the whole system itself is all fucked up. And,
right.
Yeah.
And it looks no further to being a media ploy. Like it's just a way to spin, like you said, spin the story, make it sound good, sell papers.
Yeah, because all you see is the tip of the iceberg. You don't see the whole. Right. You don't see the whole story.
Because subsequently after that, what happened? They got an increased budget for anti-terror. They were about to lay off 50,000 officers.
Yeah.
They needed this.
Yeah.
They needed this like a fucking hole in the head.
Yeah.
So I see it. Well, I get it.
Instances like that unfortunately, they save people. Like in that case, it saved the whole department. Fucking 9/11 saved Rudy Giuliani.
Then they say it every time. We need another one,
The city was done with Giuliani. Yeah, we were ready to say, yo, fuck this dude.
Right.
This dude, okay, fine. He cleaned up Times Square, but Jesus Christ, how many bodies are in a bag now because of this dude?
Sure.
We're done with him. Our budget is out of control. Let's get rid of this dude. I can't wait for this dude to happen. Yeah. All of a sudden, planes fly into the tower. You see this fake picture of Giuliani acting like he's running into the thing, and the commissioner holding him. He's trying to run in. Oh no! Don't do it, Rudy! Don't do it! Get the fuck out of here! Don't give me that bullshit. Like you were ready to run in. Get out of here! You were conveniently in front of the camera. Yeah. Oh yeah, how great you are! And all of a sudden, he became America's mayor. He's throwing out pitches at ball games.
Yeah.
He built his whole security business out of that now.
Huge.
Jesus Christ.
LifeLock is huge.
And when you listen to him now, he sounds batshit nuts.
He sounds fucking crazy.
He sounds
like nuts. He actually believes this shit. Like he believes the story they spun him.
Right. The story they spun.
Put the fucking get here. You need a handkerchief? You got one? No,
just one.
Have it.
Go.
Probably pinched him in his ass. Oh shit! Run! You know how they say if you want to, like in the movies, a lot of guys will tell you, you're trying to get the dog, and you got a very well trained dog on the set. It's hard to make him bark, so they pinch him in the ass. That's probably what they did to Rudy. Like,
run, Rudy, run.
Run to the dust. And you see a guy in the fucking back with a Johnson's baby powder, clapping powder and make it. No defamation to any of those who have lost their life in the 9/11 tragedy.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It was a tragedy no matter who was in charge. No matter who did what, it's still a tragedy, and it haunts us to this day.
Yeah.
Haunts New York City. It keeps everybody on their toes. The new terrorism is the savagery going on in the streets with. So bacon, egg, and cheese has been trending this whole weekend.
Has it?
Yes, because of this fuckhead in Brooklyn asking for a bacon, egg, and cheese right now.
Okay, school me because I haven't heard this.
I'll show you. Maybe I'll run the clip in the bottom of this clip. But there's a gentleman. I'll call him a gentleman for Pete's sake, for his mother's sake. At a bodega.
Okay.
and he's telling the attendant, I'm trying to be formal here, telling the attendant to make his bacon, egg, and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel right now. Now, I'm not listening to nothing else you saying. Make my shit right now. Throwing shit in the store right now. He's gone nuts. And they're filming him. They, naturally, this is the new response to pick your phone up and just film the guy. He's gone batshit crazy for a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Because the guy's like, listen, there's people ahead of you. The grill is already occupied. Right. You coming. It's coming. Right. It's coming. No, right now. Right now. He's tearing the whole store up. Right now. And everybody is like, this fucking video went viral. Jesus 100 million views already. Like, this guy, they caught him. So there's some people, I've said this to some people, like, we have to stop perpetuating the savagery, right? Like, everyone's falling in laughing at it. It's not funny. No,
it's not funny, especially if you're there.
Right.
If you're there, if you're the dude waiting on your sandwich and some dude comes behind you throwing shit because he's not getting his sandwich, you're like, I left my piece at home. Right. I might have to.
Well, so now piggybacking off of that, when you start searching for that video, you find all these fucking
lunatics,
bacon, egg, and cheese lunatics, bacon, egg, and cheese. Yo, this guy in there is like, yo, I want my shit now, bacon, egg, and cheese right now. Pop, pop, pop. It shoots a gun. It's like all these series of rogue videos, savage videos. I'm gonna call them what they are, savages. They're savages, man. I mean, these people. You're in someone else's establishment.
Right.
You want services.
Right.
They're not rendering fast enough for you. Okay, I get it. Go somewhere else. You say, no, you know what? I can't do this. Right. I gotta go. Right. I'm on a time constraint or whatever else.
Right.
Not for me. I walked out of I went to Five Guys the other day because I passed it and I was like, I think I want Five Guys.
That happens all the time.
And I was like, and Five Guys is next door to Chick-fil-A, and I'm
Five
like,
Five Guys hit you. It just is like, hey, you want that Five Guys?
You want Five Guys. And it was like Friday. I was like, oh shit, do I go Five Guys?
End of the week, reward myself.
Yeah, this
the good old way.
Or do I get to Tracks and get the oysters and I was like, I'm usually doing the oysters on Friday. Like that might be.
I could save a few bucks.
Yeah, save a few bucks. And I went in there, fucking line was, everybody was like, okay, I'm leaving. Right. I just walked out.
Right, and it takes a little bit longer to get a Five Guys burger, anyways.
I know.
So you're waiting regardless.
Yeah, you are, and it is one of those things that just kind of rewards you.
It is. It rewards you, and then when you're done eating it, you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have had that.
Well, that used to be me with a Big Mac. Like the McDonald's. I mean, I haven't had McDonald's in 4 years. I just saw it on my calendar. Yeah. That's when I started my diet. I said, you know what? If I'm gonna start with just McDonald's. Just that fucking clown. Fuck that clown. Fuck that mother.
You're gonna die, clown.
I saw him at the fucking parade. He's so evil, fucking. Anyway, what was I saying?
You used to be that way with McDonald's.
Yeah, it was. You eat a Big Mac, it's so good. I mean, don't get me wrong. A fucking Big Mac is so good to eat, and it's just that.
It's that momentary pleasure you get.
5 seconds.
It's like masturbating. It's like
pretty much.
It's like you're jerking off. Ooh. It feels good at the time.
Well, fucking clean this shit up.
Exactly. Now you're done. You feel shame. You're like, oh, fucking.
I gotta clean this.
I'm supposed to be a man. I got a woman. What the hell is going on?
Just need some me time.
No, I'm not
Big Mac.
I'm that way with Burger King. Like every once in a while,
I love a Whopper.
I gotta put a fucking Burger King burger. Usually when I'm coming here.
Yeah.
Because when you pass the thing, you hit that Burger King, and I think every other week that I've come here, I said I got some time.
Yeah.
I could give that. I could do myself whatever they call those burgers now, double ranch or Baconator or some shit like that.
Well, that's Checkers.
You just
the Baconator is Checkers.
That guilty. And then you're right. When you're done, it's like, man, I shouldn't have done that.
Well, I think all fast food, we agreed that, at nighttime, the drunken nights, the White Castles, the guilty pleasure of, nice little bubble guts afterwards. Taco Bell.
My wife and I were courting, and we were when we were closing down bars at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, we'd head back, and that damn 24-hour Taco Bell sounds great to me.
It sounds good to me.
I spend what, $4 and get
great.
And they started serving. Apparently, some Taco Bells have alcohol. Like they have these
cafe. Like a bar?
Not like a cafe, but it's like a like those Slurpee machines.
Yeah.
Like they make those with alcohol.
Well, how do you control that?
Well, I don't know. No, they make it for you.
Oh, you make
but
it for
it's
you.
like
Okay.
it's one of those like a slushy with like alcohol in, like
Tequila?
a rum and cola Slurpee or something like that, or some shit like that.
Where's this?
I don't know. I think
okay.
I think the one on Hempstead Turnpike does that.
Get the fuck out of here.
The one on Hempstead Turnpike as you leaving Rockville Center.
That would be interesting.
Heading east, I think they have it. But it begs the question: if you can have alcohol at Taco Bell, why would you go to Taco Bell? The thing about Taco Bell is you go to Taco Bell when you're drunk, and you want to have something cheap.
Well, not everyone goes to Taco Bell when they're drunk. I've seen kids in school. It's like a thing.
Yes,
It's a $5. A dollar
yes.
fucking crunchy or whatever it is. The
chalupa and all that stuff
and
like
all
that.
that
Yes,
stuff,
I
you
get
get
it. But I'm talking about when you go into Taco Bell at 2:00 in the morning.
Well, I don't
That's
think they would sell it then.
no, they yes.
Wow.
Yes. Now, do they still do it? I don't know.
I don't know. But the Burger King I told you was, remember we did on episode 14.
Some of them have the one by my job has beer.
Has beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
has
and
beer.
the
Not
one in
all of them do
Manhattan-
though.
No, the one in Manhattan. Apparently you have to have a separate dining area
For people drinking.
for people to drink in there, and they can't take it out. You can't to go.
You can't to go your thing, right?
You want to put your beer in one
You
of
gotta
these?
and they probably put it in a clear. They probably put it in a clear cup.
It's in a can, actually.
Oh, it's a can.
It's a can of beers. There's Brooklyn Lager. There's cans. So, and they pop the top for you. So you can't take it and walk out.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay.
must open it for you. They have to open it, and they give you a cup on the side if you want, whatever. So you
Okay.
can put it in your soft drink cup, or you could do that yourself.
Okay.
But they have to pop the top.
They can't pop it up, right? Because they don't want you walking out of
Open,
there.
right.
If you leave there, you're subject to open container laws.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So they don't want to say that they,
Okay.
Actually, it's the opposite. If they left it closed and I took it, maybe I want to take it home. Maybe I want to.
True, right.
Maybe I want to enjoy it on my own leisure. But
right.
I don't know. Laws are, weird. They work for some scenarios, but it's tough to please everybody, right?
No,
It's
you
tough
can't
to-
please everybody.
It's tough to make sure that even on the legislation side, to make sure that things work for everyone.
Well, especially in I mean, the country is what? We're closing in on 400 million people. Anything you say that's going to be good for some
Govern, right.
is going to be like
for everyone.
a good portion of them is like, wait a minute, this is stupid. Why are we doing this?
For everyone.
Right.
This works for you.
And that's, it begs the question, like, should we be, now that we see what our president is, it begs the question, should one person be running this whole thing? Like 400 million people, different regions that have different, like what happens here in New York is not going to be apropos for something that happens in Nebraska.
Yes. Well, this is why you have state and city laws.
But those need to be. It begs the question: should those be the highest form of? Should those be the highest form of government? So we live here in New York State. Should New York State be the highest form of actual government that you have? Right. And the federal government just makes sure that New York State abides by the Constitution. It makes sure that you're not that you are not imposing any laws on the citizens of that state that are against the Constitution,
right?
And stuff like that. And we'll take care of national defense and trade tariffs and all that shit like that. Stuff that covers
country,
like the whole nation. Right. Other than that, you go ahead and do whatever you want to do.
Well, that would be so. There was a I want to Google it, but there was a guy who went in court. It was his wife sued him for what do you call it? Cheating? What's the legal word for it?
Adultery.
Adultery.
Okay. Is that a crime? Adultery is a crime?
No, she again sued him. It was
in civil court.
Yes.
Okay.
In civil court, and he argued it that in his head he didn't think he was cheating because he was in another state and he got married in this state. So he said, "I'm not married in Denver.
So I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want in Colorado."
Yeah, he said, "I got married in New York.
That's a whole new different thing.
It's a different state.
Okay.
And it's the marriage license is jurisdiction is of the state.
Of the state, right?
So you're not married in
right
in Denver,
right?
And he moved to Denver, so he was a citizen in Denver. They were I guess relocating or whatever. but he was still married or whatever. And
now, were they on the verge of like breaking up?
I'm assuming so.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember the whole story. This was a long time ago, and I remember the story going on like. And I said, does that make sense?
That's kind of It's
well, the judge argued. Then you illegally drove to Denver because you only have a license from New York. So how'd you get there? You know, your license is from New York. So there is a handoff system that each state allows you to utilize your license where you go.
Okay.
Right? You could drive from here to California.
Right.
Because I'm a New York State licensed driver.
But we trust New York State that they know what they're doing. So
that they taught you enough, and their jurisdiction or their rules are enough for you to come into my state.
Right.
So I think the driving system is the only one that is interlocked where
goes back
respectable because the gun laws aren't right. I have a gun in here.
You can't take that.
You can't take that to Virginia.
Well, the laws are different in different
states.
Well,
so,
that used to be when you think about marriage. That used to be. I think one of the reasons. I think how the federal government got involved with marriage was states that didn't allow interracial marriage.
Correct. Okay.
And so they would.
I'm gonna move down south. I'm
gonna
move up north.
I'll move up north
so I can get married.
And then you did that, and if you went to another state, they would like. I think the claim was. They could get you for kidnapping or something like that, like because you're not allowed to marry that person here. So the only reason why you have that person is because you kidnapped them.
Yeah, there's a movie there that
Jack Johnson, the boxer.
Oh yeah,
he was charged with that several times because he had. This is a dude. This.
The Jack Johnson.
Read the story. Of Jack Johnson is pretty deep. Because this dude, heavyweight champion of the world, baddest motherfucker on the planet, slinging white chicks all over the place. I think he had like several wives and stuff like that. And every time that he would leave the state, they would charge him with kidnapping.
No, and he had the best cars. He had the first Model T Ford.
Yeah,
he had
he was bank, and he was it.
And he loved cars. He loved to drive, and he wanted to drive his own car. And he said, "Well, give me double the ticket because I'm speeding on the way back." He said, "Pay the ticket twice because you know."
And if you see that the case of the Loving family,
the what?
The Loving family. This couple, this white guy, black woman.
Yes.
They married each other.
Well, they made a movie of this.
Yeah, they made a movie of it, and there's a documentary. The documentary is actually, in my opinion, a little bit better.
Probably
because it actually pulls on those heartstrings and stuff.
Yeah.
Just as well. I saw some of the movie.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. He married there, and then their marriage wasn't recognized somewhere else, and so they sued. I think the federal government, basically saying that if one state recognizes a marriage, then all states should recognize a marriage, or something like
Interesting. That. There's also a correlation between King Kong and Jack Johnson.
Please.
The Honorable Dick Gregory, God rest his soul, used to always talk about when they released King Kong. It was I guess this studio's way of trying to talk about like Jack Johnson.
Really?
Yes, and they said why? Okay, so they said why would there be King Kong in Madison Square Garden? Because that's where Jack Johnson fought.
Okay.
Why would it be in the Empire State Building? Why would it be in New York? Because that's where Jack Johnson fought every time, and he had a white woman in his hand, and they were shooting at him, and and he's gonna climb to the top and kill us. They got to get rid of the big monkey. So Dick Gregory talks about so many ways that they portrayed it, and they pushed to release it for whatever reason.
Yeah, but at the end of the movie, though,
he was the hero.
He was the hero,
right.
And she actually demonstrated a lot of compassion and love for him.
Right.
So that if they did that for that reason, they kind of fucked that up. Then.
Well, I don't know. No, I don't know if they were saying it was good or I don't know who's the proponent here. Like who's the person?
Oh, okay.
I think they were trying to say white women love the big monkey. Like
okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, then it's okay.
It's
all
okay.
Right.
And people somehow felt better about it after seeing the movie. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
I don't. Again, this is Dick Gregory, not me.
Right.
Speaking of King Kong, I met a gentleman at Rudy's one day, and he was the stagehand at the King Kong theater, the show, the Broadway play King Kong.
Really?
It just came. He's
okay.
He's the mechanical guy.
Okay.
So he's in it singing his woes about, not getting paid, whatever, bunch of bullshit,
right.
Theatrical, backstage theatrics.
Okay.
Which I didn't know had so much politics in the union between who gets what job and who gets called first, second, or third, that kind of stuff. So he says, and I heard the show was awesome, by the way. I heard
King Kong?
King Kong show is awesome. That the mechanical, which this guy pulls the strings and makes him do all this.
Yeah.
He said, man,
he's a rigger. Rigger.
So he says, wait till they see Friday's show, man, because when he goes to grab for Jane, I rigged it, and the fucking King Kong's gonna go like this. He said he's gonna make his hand do a fuck you. He says, and I'm out. Like, I said, don't do that, man. You
realize you fuck with your future employment as well, not just.
He said, he says we could rig it so that they would just make a gesture, just for half a second when he goes to pull a hand, and 1 second, like just. And he says that they don't realize we got the power to do that. We could do it. And I said, yeah. Do you realize you have the power to do it? Like you're smarter than them, but they manage you. So get in where you fit in, man.
Right.
Do it right, and then get picked up for the next show.
Right.
But he said he's worked on tons of Broadway plays, and ends up at Rudy's. Somehow you'll end up at Rudy's once in a while.
You catch when you go there, you catch a lot of people. Usually after their shows.
Yeah.
What I find interesting is that you find a lot of people going there before their shows.
Yes.
So which begs the question: okay, aren't you supposed to be in some form of like?
And he
like
was,
if you're on
he
your
was on his way to the job, and
and
he's got to deal with heavy equipment, and he wears he wears a harness, and he hangs from. It was a dangerous job, and I'm like, dude, you're fucking hammered. Like I'm hammered,
right,
with you,
right. But I'm going home.
I'm going home. I'm going the other way.
I'm going home. I'm going to sleep it off. You're going to work. Now Rudy's is open early. Rudy's is open at 9:00 in the morning. We could easily shoot up in there and get us a couple pictures and then head off to work. I'm sure I will not be as productive. No. During that course of the day. Although I've done it at lunchtime. I've gotten lunch, had a few lunches, and I can still.
I drink every.
I can still download on that. I can still do that spreadsheet. I can still update that software.
Yeah. It's part of my job to drink at lunch. It's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's fine. This week for me was crazy. I mean, I had clients in.
Dudes from Pittsburgh came in.
Yes, I did that. It was great. He was like, he says, why would we meet in Pittsburgh? And I was like, you're the fucking client.
The dude from Pittsburgh,
right?
So yeah, why the fuck
would
we be
he's
there?
Not from Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
He's from New Orleans. Actually.
Okay,
he's from New Orleans.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah,
in New Orleans.
Well, the job is in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
He was like, "Fuck that! I don't want to meet in Pittsburgh. It's a hole in the, it's a building. It is what it is. We don't need to meet there. We come to New York because he had other business to do here, and so thankfully that worked out, and all good. But then it's like holiday time, so it's like everyone has a Christmas party.
Right.
I got one to go to on Monday at Bond 45, so that should be fun. Just going to all these shaking hands, and,
right.
Dropping off little gift cards here and there for clients and stuff like that. Weird, but it's holiday time. It's festive, and
it's festive. Everybody tries to loosen up a little bit.
But you get the best of both worlds, right? You get the people traveling, going home to work. We talk about this a lot, and then you get the fuck out of the way, and I actually like when people are with their families and walking through stores and looking and stuff like that, and there's a certain accord that comes with it. You just gotta, as a New Yorker, I think we said this before. I think we lose our ambassadorship. Like not enough of us are embrace being an ambassador of New York. Like I see people do where you going, ma'am? I do it a lot, and sometimes they go, what are you asking? And I said, you're lost. Where are you going? And they, I'm like, I said, my fucking dress. When I wear my hat, like when I wear my black hat, my Bailey, people just, like fear of a black hat. And I said, is it the hat? I don't know what it is.
I see more people now, like couples in New York, tourists, and but each one of them are like on their phone looking at their map.
Yes.
Each one of them are like,
yes.
You know, one of you could just say, "Hey, where's
correct
so and so?" You know,
it's
and talk. And I guess and I think for the most part there is an understanding. If you work in New York, there's an understanding that a third of the population are tourists.
Yes.
A third of the people that are floating around there are tourists.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't like Midtown. I don't like Midtown. We gotta cross through Midtown to get to where we're going. You're gonna bump into tourists and whatnot. And like you said, you want to be a nice ambassador. You want to be a decent.
I didn't say I don't like Midtown.
You don't like Midtown? You like Midtown?
Yeah, I love Midtown.
I hate Midtown.
I love Midtown.
I hate Midtown. I hate. Well, put it. Okay, stop. I hate going through Midtown. I hate having to deal with. I hate having to navigate in Midtown. Midtown's nice to look at. It's pretty, like to sort of be in it. But if I have to get somewhere, like when we decide we're gonna go to Rudy's, and I gotta cross into Midtown, that part I hate.
See, because you're on the east side.
That part I hate.
I'm on Broadway, 40th Street.
You're in it.
I can get. I'm centrally located. So the reason I say I love it because I got the R train here, I got the 1 train there, I got the E train. You know, I can move. So if I got to be uptown, 20 minutes. I could be in Harlem, 20 minutes. I could be in Soho, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So either way, I mean, I could be in the Bronx in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because I have all the trains. So when I say I like it because for work it's convenient.
It's convenient for you.
I don't like the East Side. I do. I hate
the East Side. It locks you in.
I hate the East Side.
It locks you in. Yeah, I get that.
For me, it's no. I don't ever want to go to the East Side if I don't have to. Anything past Madison, forget it. Forget it. It's a bunch of no. Only way I'm going east, I'm going home. I come east to go home, and I don't like it. West Side, Midtown, Uptown, Downtown, no problem. Ain't Broadway, Madison, all the way. I'm good because I could walk. I mean, I could get everywhere.
I wish they would do that extension from the Long Island Railroad
that they just put up
Grand Central.
They should.
That makes that because half of the people floating from Midtown are Midtown heading to Grand Central to get on the Long Island Railroad going home.
Yeah, that was smart. That was one smart thing I saw the city do. That corridor, they call it the commuter corridor.
The commuter corridor,
which is pretty smart. But then it kind of moves out. Then you're still walking in the third. You make the fourth lane anyway.
Right, you're making it anyway. So it's something that like wasn't done all the way through. We talked about this last week when we talked about the air train. It's like, okay, this is nice, but you kind of miss the big fucking picture here of the whole thing. You know
what I do. What I am disappointed with in this city and whether uptown downtown is the amount of scaffolding. That appear those make the obstacle harder. It's because sometimes
you on every street.
Well, you can get trapped in a corridor of a scaffold and can't get out. You know, and it bottlenecks, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get out of here!" And then you've already passed the little opening, so you got to dip, dodge,
right.
Playing fucking dodgeball here with these corridors, fucking corridors.
And that's part of it. It's the ocean. You cut us off again.
I know, but no, that was just sound versus this. I don't know where it comes from. I'm gonna get a new board, mixer board. I think we've outgrown that one.
Okay.
You know,
outgrown is. Hey, listen,
we're outgrowing things.
Yeah, we gotta upgrade.
Upgrade. Indeed, we got rubber bands and shit holding.
Hey, it's you know.
So
that's how you start.
December 14th, we are Level 1's hosting the holiday Christmas party.
Sold out.
Completely sold out.
Sold out.
It was the last few tickets here. It is completely sold out. There will be no tickets sold at the door. If you do not have a ticket, you cannot get in. Don't call my phone. Don't call any one of the guys' phone. Talk about, I was trying to, no, shoulda, coulda, woulda. We've gave strict instructions for all Level 1 members to not even entertain the door. We have a doorman, a security guard at the door. If you have the ticket, your ticket gets punched and put on a ring. You get a wristband for re-entry. The wristband, if on or not, if you don't have it on, you can't come back in.
Now that sounds simple.
It ain't simple.
But those instructions sound like simple instructions.
Yes. Because the door will bottleneck, right? So there'll be people. It's going to be cold. It's going to be. I don't know what to expect, the element, but it is this Friday coming up, and we are 6 days away from a smorgasbord. A couple of fried turkeys, potato salad, macaroni, cheese, rasta pasta.
You gonna have Santa?
We debated who's gonna be Santa, and we decided to go with the no.
No Santa?
No Santa, man. No Santa. You're welcome to join the party and put the suit on.
No Santa.
We have a suit.
Most people Christian. How about Jesus? Get a little Jesus coming in.
No.
No?
No.
All right.
No figurative figurines. No allegorical characters posing.
Are you serving? You talked about the fried turkeys. You doing some fried turkey? You doing some brisket?
Doing some brisket. We're doing some pork.
Doing some venison?
No.
I've always said that I want venison at Christmas time and rabbit at Easter time. I told my wife this the other day. My wife asked me. My wife asked me. She said, "Hey, mom's, my mom's cooking for for Christmas. Any, you got any requests or whatnot?" I said, "Yeah, well, a nice ham would be good." She said, "Okay, well, we're thinking about it. We're thinking about doing, something else. But okay, think about ham." And I said, "Yeah, and some venison." She's like, "No." And I'm like, "Why can't we have venison? Why can't we have venison? And we'll just say that we caught one of these motherfuckers on the roof."
So speaking of the
Vixen, I hate that motherfucker.
Speaking of the reindeer, Rudolph, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the show, the Rudolph,
Yes.
the show, the Channel
Yes.
2, kind of claymation-ish, kind of like the David and Goliath characters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Classic. Love it.
Classic. I was with clients the other day, and we at Tony DiNapoli's. You ever been to Tony DiNapoli's?
Yes.
Nice place.
Nice spot.
You gotta
Yes.
come there when I have these guys, because they buy the bar.
Just let me know.
I'll call you.
I'll show up.
You gotta just pop up.
Let me know. My wife don't mind me getting drunk. She just don't want me to spend money for it.
I only go there when someone's picking up the tab, and they're like, "All right, we got a bunch of guys in here. I'm coming." And I'll tell you another story about that experience. This just happened a couple of days ago, and it was weird. But we start talking about Rudolph, and
Right.
So I did bring up we were talking about something with the Hey Jude, which we talked about last podcast. And so the whole fucking bar starts. I got everybody singing it. I should have taped it. It was so fucking epic. It was na 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 na, and the whole bar just na 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 na.
And Tony DiNapoli's.
And Tony DiNapoli's.
So that's not a dive bar. Tony DiNapoli's is a nice spot.
By the way, they just bought Chevy's on 42nd Street.
Tony DiNapoli's did?
Yes.
So what are they going to turn it into? Are they going
Irish bar. Andrews, I think it's going to be, or Harry's or something like that.
Okay.
2-story Irish bar, huge place. It's going to be sick. I mean, they're trying to open for like New Year's,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
I'm about to say
I walked it.
That's enthusiastic.
No, I walked it with the electrician, and they're away from it. I mean, they're like, hurry up.
And you got permits and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like that. You can't get shit done quick in New York.
Yes, you can.
Can you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you got envelopes.
Yes.
Right.
Or know people that have them, that have paved the way,
Right.
and it's. I mean, New York City for building, Department of Buildings is getting nice. I mean, they're really opening up because, it's making a way, but there's just so much going on with a lot of businesses closing, opening. It's like never ending.
Well, small businesses can't compete.
Can't compete with the WeWork model is taken over, and this way, portable, workable, shareable is the way to go. And half the buildings are empty. Half of them are empty, and they don't have enough tenants to suffice them. So they're all either turning them into hotels or shared apartments and whatever else. I say this to say that the guy brought up the story of the Rudolph reindeer show, okay? And I'm gonna that movie,
the
that
movie, okay,
movie,
all right,
the Channel 2 CBS
Right.
special. Now I remember the story, but I don't remember the theme of the story. And he's explaining to me. He said a comment of one of the guys that was with us. You're Hermie, the gay dentist. And I go, what the fuck? He was like, you don't remember Rudolph? And do you remember this show? Do you remember?
Yes.
So this elf, the gay elf.
Right. Well, he wasn't.
Okay, so
He had
okay, he was a little special.
Right.
he's breaking it down. He was equivalent to Rudolph. He was ostracized for being different. He
Right.
didn't want to make toys.
Right.
He wanted to be a dentist.
He wanted to be a dentist. Right. Right. Now, I don't know how he got gay into it.
Okay, I went back and watched it on
his
YouTube.
voice was, he had a little, he had a little voice. So, I mean, okay.
So he was like, I don't want to make any toys.
I want to be a dentist.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay.
And he had the lisp. He had the, I want to be a dentist. Whatever.
So you never see him sucking a dick. So it's hard to.
So, and he was like, I can't believe you. I said, dude, I watched it, but I didn't watch it. Like, I wasn't thinking of that.
Right,
I wasn't thinking of any of that. Innocently, I just remembered the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Again, so how they got to make it a story and a plot. And then, do you also remember that the Abominable Snowman is in this?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
don't remember the Abominable Snowman?
Listen. It makes me want to watch it again because I want to relive it because I don't remember seeing it as an adult.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
I remember seeing it as a child.
And putting those adult, okay, yeah.
And, with adult eyes, I will probably go, holy shit.
That kid's gay.
Yes. Would be you would make some different inference. All I'm just trying to say is that this is one of those things that I have not seen as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I only remember it from a childhood perspective. Like Schoolhouse Rock, like all of those things.
Right.
And when you hear them later, you go, it brings you, that moment, and then you say, damn, I remember. And when he said it, and I remember that I was afraid of that Abominable Snowman. Like, he was horrible. Yeah.
All the claymation movement.
So those little, jolt instances that take you back are priceless, and it's like, we were saying like how kids don't appreciate or have anything to hold on to and memorialize, I guess, so to speak. So I thought that was funny.
What would kids be watching now for the holidays? Like, so at Christmas time, like you said, because that's a memory that we have as kids. You saw that. You saw Baby New Year. You saw the Charlie Brown Christmas
New Year
and all that stuff and whatnot. What would kids be watching now? Like when kids now are grow up.
Yeah.
Like when a kid who's like 8, 9 years old now, when they become 25, 26, they're going to say, "Oh, do you remember what?" What
I don't know.
They say?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my son. I'd have to ask him what he would. Now, he's a big Dragon Ball Z guy.
Okay.
Still watches it to this day.
Dragon Ball Z Christmas.
Dragon Ball. I don't know if they have that. Pokemon, like all of that era. Like he came from that. He knows all the Wartortle Turtle and Squirt, and all these characters that
Did he play the? There was a board game. There was spinners. With the spinners. There was wasn't there a card game too?
Yes,
like a card game.
Yes, he played a little bit of. They used to trade. I mean, it's very few because you need other kids to be in it too,
right?
And trade cards and do the. Yeah, I gotta. This
I give you this one for that one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is a good question. That's a valid question. What are kids thinking of now? What are the moments that they will?
What is
remember?
their childhood?
Right.
What is their childhood as they? And then when they get older, they'll of course outgrow it. But then as they become young adults themselves, and then
interesting,
they start building their families and stuff like that.
And
they'll say,
have
"Hey,
some
remember,
kind of
has some kind of like thing to remember." Because I remember, for me, it's those like you said,
March of the
Wooden Soldiers, which is now for some reason they don't call it March of the Wooden Soldiers anymore. They call it Babes in Toyland.
Well,
it has 2 names.
It does. I
think it's for distribution reasons.
So I guess when it was released somewhere, it was probably named something else.
I think so. But when you look for March of the Wooden Soldiers, you don't see that. But when you see Babes in Toyland, that's when it comes up. But that's what I look for. I look for that.
Yeah. Do you like the colorization?
No.
Effect? No.
It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right. Although, did you see this? There's a documentary about, I think it's World War I or World War II. I can't remember. But it's about soldiers in World War I. And they take a documentary, which was in black and white, but it's now colorized. Yeah. And it's not that shitty colorization. Yeah. It's authentic colorization. And it has a look to it that it is just...
changes it.
It changes it. It all of a sudden is now...
real.
It's more real. It's like, these are not just like dudes of the past. These are like actual like people, and they have, you know, you see the color in their face, and you see, you know, the color of the equipment, and you know, the dirt here and the grass here, and you can see that the water they were drinking and all that, and all of a sudden these things, they're just like brought to life a little bit more. And it's a little bit eerier.
Well, you gain another dimension, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, that, you know, every color is another dimension. You know, so if you have 50 colors in a hue of what you're looking at, those are all different dimensions. Right. They bounce back in different levels and light, and it's weird.
Didn't he fuck somebody? Isn't he in trouble because he like
what? Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
I just saw a snippet of like he's apparently somebody's claiming he did something to somebody or
mind
whatever. I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Mind fuck by Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's illegal too, guys. You mind fuck.
To be mind fucked.
Yeah.
Not to be. He got.
There is a channel called Colorway or something like that, which has. It is a complete channel of colorized
black and white movies.
Yes.
Okay.
So this thing could exist on that.
Yeah, the old the old when they first started doing that, it was shitty. It
technology
just didn't look
there.
like.
I don't think.
Yeah, it just looked like somebody just like put color on it. But
what color do you think this motherfucker was?
I don't know. It was still pasty.
Peachy.
Let's give him rosy cheeks.
Everyone was peach.
Everybody was peach.
Yeah.
You know. But but now the things that they're doing now is awesome.
Yeah, technology is catching up to a lot of our fantasy, including well, I saw like the Honeymooners colored and blew me away because I was like, I didn't ever think of Ralph Cramden. His bus driver uniform, was green, and sanitation colors. Like, what the fuck was it? The Madison Avenue bus, and Ed Norton, the vest, and everything else.
What color was his vest?
It was brown.
Okay.
It was brown. Oh no, actually, it was plaid. It was plaid.
So it had texture to it.
Yes, it had different colors in it.
That's interesting.
It was,
okay.
It was like green and brown plaid, like weird. Well, that's what they colored it. Right. So who knows if that really was what it was on the set? But it makes you wonder, like, it does. You are right that if you watch a black and white film and the first perception is it's old. Yes. That's number one.
Yes.
So your brain clicks into old mode. So kids today will say, "Oh, wait, old movies,"
Right.
And then when you think about it, you kind of have to pay more attention to more of the story than the 50 dimensions they're giving you, right?
Yeah.
So that would kind of be a good thing if you could do. What was there was a modern black and white movie. You know who does those movies really well, black and white with color, like with the Sin City.
Yeah, the Sin City movies.
Those
black and white and had like a splash of color here when they like showed somebody.
Who's
bleeding.
that director? I gotta.
That's Frank Miller.
It's
the Frank Miller story, but I don't know if he directed it.
Okay, but
it's his story, but I can't remember who directed it. I think Robert Rodriguez directed one.
Yes, I think you are right.
Okay.
But he has a series of those that have that look to them, which I really like, and they're really gothic. They have that Gotham City look.
Yeah,
it's always raining. It's always
leathery, right? And it's almost shot like a comic book.
Yes,
it's shot like a comic book. So even though they do it in black and white, but you can
blood is red.
The depth, right, and the depth perception, and the shadows that they use. It's all for very, very specific reasons. Those are
dope. I think what's this guy? Elijah Woods was in one of them, and he was like some weird kid.
He was the senator's son who
was plotting shit, right? He
was plotting shit, and he was a cannibal.
Yes, that's what it was.
Killing and eating people.
Oh, yes.
That was weird.
That was a good series. I like that little genre of those type of films.
People think those are like people use those to say that is the exemplification of violence and like too much violence.
Wow.
Or too like explicitly violent. But then you got to.
Oh my God!
I saw this interview that Quentin Tarantino had with somebody. Quentin Tarantino is a goddamn savage. Man. Like you question his shit, he'll fucking tear you down for a bit. So somebody asked him about the violence in movies. He said, "You mean movies? You mean those fictitious things that aren't real life? Yeah. Movies? Yeah. Go ahead and tell me the violence in movies.
Yes.
But the whole notion of that a lot of times this is like not violence for violence sake. It's actually like stylized violence, and it's choreographed violence and stuff. And so it's not just like violence for the sake of violence. And if you want to say that violent movies cause violence, well then we'd all be freaking murderers. I mean, that just doesn't map out. You know.
I watched The Devil's Rejects the other day.
Oh yeah.
Rob Zombie.
Yeah. That's another one. He's yes, he is.
It's a crazy fucker.
Yes.
You gotta be fucked up in the head, like.
And then someone thinks of that.
And then someone greenlights it, and someone says,
Yeah.
Like, can you make it look real? Can you sell it? Can you? That's bad. That's
he did that. He did. He did one of the Halloween movies.
He did one of the Halloweens. Yeah.
You know,
number 2.
No.
Halloween 2. Yes. The redo. Of
the redo. Okay.
Two,
right.
You know, in the new era of the 20 years later or whatever.
There's a new one out now.
With Jamie Lee's fucking.
It was like,
now it's like, won't you die?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you should go. Jeez, I'm tired of both of you.
If he's trying to find you, let's kill your ass.
Still, yeah, maybe you're the fucking problem.
Right. Oh, I can smell that old.
She's here.
Truvia
maybe you guys are just meant for each other. Maybe you guys should just hang out.
What's that yogurt she eats?
Activia.
So what's damn? Why am I drawing? But what's the black female comic, the gay one, dude?
The black female gay comic?
Yes.
Wanda Sykes?
Wanda Sykes.
Great comic.
She's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yes. She says, first this bitch, shoots her brother. Then this bitch, now the bitch can't shit right, so she's drinking Activia. You done made her shit our pants for fucking 20 years with these scary ass movies, and now your ass can't shit because now you need bowel movement.
Wanda
shit.
Sykes is awesome.
Oh, she's awesome. She's a
she got
like
somebody.
She did the car ride thing with your boy.
Yes. That's hilarious. She did this thing. Somebody interviewed her and said, "Don't you think you should? Being gay yourself? She's gay. She's married.
Yeah.
And don't you think your act should be more inclusive about gay women and stuff like that?" And she said, "Bitch, I just did 90 minutes talking about my wife and kids.
Right.
How more fucking gay do you want me to be?"
Oh man!
Like I'm so gay.
Right.
Like I can't wait to dive in that vagina. Like how fucking gay do you want somebody to be? She's telling you that she's built a life with her wife and children. That's kind of fucking gay.
Kind of like
that's kind of supporting gay.
Well, that sounds like the person who wrote the question didn't know do the homework, and they had the pre-written question and was like, "Oh, you never saw the fucking show."
Right. Exactly. Yes.
That's the guy that raised his hand and he's like dying. He wrote this question out before he even came to the seminar, and they go, "You do realize we've spent 40 minutes covering
this shit,
the same shit you just asked. So either you pre-packaged that question and decided now to ask it, or you weren't paying attention, buddy."
That's what a lot of people do. People come in there, and then they come in there with their idealized version of what the world. Everybody has this vision of what the world should look like to them, and nobody's willing to for some reason now we just don't want to. We don't want to acknowledge the world that we have now.
Right.
Realize that it's pretty awesome. Fucking good.
Pretty awesome.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, to say that. I mean, do we have problems? Yeah, we got problems, but
who doesn't?
When you look at the amount of interactions we have with people every day,
yeah,
and that 99% of the time nothing happens, that's a plus.
It's a plus. Yeah.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
Yes, you get a lunatic that does dumb shit, shoots up a bodega because he can't get his fucking bacon, egg, and cheese on time.
Right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Fine, that happens. 99% of the time, everybody pretty much
gets
along and follows a playbook and understands that, hey, if you're going to be involved in this situation, you got to make certain concessions. I'm willing to make those concessions so that everybody else gets their own thing and they go about their own business and they really don't give a shit about you.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit about you. They don't care if you suck dick. They don't care if you put a fucking turban on your head. They don't care. Just
it's true.
Don't ask me to justify your decisions that you made. Right. You make those decisions. You make them for yourself. Don't ask me to now tote the horn for your shit the way you think the world should be.
Yeah, I'm not a fan when someone, because I speak I'm eloquently or whatever. Like someone said, and a good friend of mine and ours, and he's like, "Y'all should do more of this on your show on Two Bros podcast." And I'm like, it's not a gossip show. Like,
we're not
going to sit here and talk about,
around.
Ooh, and this week in
That's
Tekashi,
right.
We're not going to cover Tekashi 6ix9ine every fucking week. Sometimes it's news and it's what do we think about it.
It's on your mind.
It's on your mind. It's just relevant. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a gossip show. It's not even a fucking show. It's
this
just
is us.
This
is us catching up.
Right. You just happen to be fucking seeing it in live and with a microphone.
With a microphone.
It's good to have a microphone. So what's else for the rest of the week? You got stuff to do tomorrow. You got daddy duties.
I got daddy duties. I got daddy duties tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's see. That just not much, man. Just this.
It's a lot of
daddy duty takes up a lot of time.
It does. Daddy
duty takes up a lot of time, especially when your infant's just doing nothing but smiling, turning over, and shitting himself. You think that you come to the conclusion that, hey, you know what, you're gonna have to hurry up and grow up here, because this is getting kind of,
you're gonna pay for your crimes of transgression. You can't be
this shitting yourself 2 times a day, needing somebody to help you. That's just kind of, come on, let's get come on, let's get this thing moving, because you got to choreograph it. So me and my wife, we got to choreograph, because hey, I got to leave here and so, and the babysitter's not going to be here, so my dad can come for a little bit. So when you make sure you come home, that's how come every time we decide if we're going to do something, I got to call home first. I got to make sure it's okay. Is this
scheduling
right? Is this navigating? Is this navigation okay? Okay, fine. So I can do this now.
Well, time management is some people have no time management at all,
right?
And some people are overboard with it. Like they plan their whole. I got to leave by. You spend more time thinking about 1:15. I got it. And it's agonizing, and it's
paralyzing. It can paralyze you.
Oh man, it just drives you crazy. I do enjoy the. Oh shit! It's 3:00 already.
Yeah.
Wow. Unless I have something crazy to do, like I do have customers today. So I was like, all right, earlier we could do. 12:30. I can get to the shop and whatever. But yeah, that time management and distance management, I guess it goes hand in hand.
Distance management,
because you got to get to this side of town, that side. Yeah. You got to deal with traffic. You got to deal with a lot of pros and cons, and it's like,
how much time is this going to take for me to do this?
This again with as you see the plethora of Amazon boxes all over, I'm being consumed by fucking Amazon. It's my own fault, and I need help. I need therapy.
Need an intern?
Well, I they cut the card. It was like, I had an Amazon credit line. I was like, they gave me like $5,000, and I was like, no, cancel this fucking thing. I need help. I'm in a program. Fuck you, because you guys are. It's fucking.
Yeah, you can get out of hand.
Because I'm like,
you can get crazy.
Ooh, I want a salt bug zapper gun. Fucking buy it. Fucking came today. But I did buy, like for the party and stuff, I got the pans came, but it's best. I don't want to because I was like, I got to go to the store and buy a pack of pans. And just for that, like, it got to just 24 pans. Amazon, that shit came today. It was on the step this morning. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I love that they get up early and do the run, which is in part of the what's the guy, the Tesla guy,
Elon
Dr.
Musk.
Elon Musk, whatever. Not doctor. He's not a doctor.
Not doctor.
Part of his underground system or whatever else does in Dubai. Well, okay, so we were doing Ferrari theme park in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi. Sorry, I take that back. It was in Abu Dhabi. The plan was that all services were underground.
Okay.
And there was this kind of train system, this supercar system that went through, around, but it was cargo. So you could be a delivery guy. So let's just say you were FedEx or whatever else, right? And again, system and time and distance makes perfect sense.
Right.
You had to be in building A, B, or C. You would, map your stuff. I got 2 packages to deliver, whatever else. You'd go in, boom, I program it. Oh, take this. It was programmed and sequenced perfectly.
Okay.
You need to be here. I got what's your load? Oh, I have a whole pallet of trash bags and you were a supply guy or whatever else. You load your shit into the container. You go. You're still the courier. You have your sign in. You gotta, and it take you to building 4. Okay, you get off. You get out. Take your shit up. No one on the street saw
that transaction. So that exchange.
No, they food service, everything went
Right.
underground, and it supplied the city well. New York could probably benefit from some type of program like that if it was intertwined with every store. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say if it was a city.
Well, Disneyland, doesn't Disneyland do that?
I don't know.
I think Disneyland does pretty much all of their.
Does it?
Like you go to like if you're delivering something, you go to a spot,
A hub, yeah.
you go to a hub, and they take it, and everything is done underground. I think.
Oh, that's amazing.
I think
that's an amazing system if you do it for services, because then you get a pipeline of, no one has to see the magic tricks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you just keep supply, and you'll have plentiful supply. If you have a pipeline, a supply chain.
Right.
So that would be a great benefit, and it would ease the let's look at it. If you were in Manhattan, right? Just imagine if all services were not in the street and you could walk. There were no UPS guys, and there were no package, and there was no deliveries, and
at a certain spot you can't bring that truck somewhere. You got to go to one of these couple of hubs to drop your stuff off.
Which is, some people would argue that that's what the nighttime is for. You go to the city at night. There's not a bunch of delivery guys running in the city. There's not services rendered because everybody's getting ready for the night. In other cities that don't have an extensive nightlife, and the daytime is the day, then it's mixed with the service. So you don't really get the benefit of it. And that's where people don't really see New York. That's why they see New York as a mecca, like a bigger city. When the truth is just like, get all the shit you need in the daytime, and then party at night.
Leave nighttime alone.
Turn it in the morning. Go back to work. Repeat. Start again.
What if they switch that? What if you just simply switched it and said, you know what, nothing gets delivered between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m.
You've done midnight deliveries, receiving, right? When we switched at Pergament, when we used to work at Pergament, we changed to midnight deliveries, and our production was awesome.
It went smooth.
It went so smooth that you want a night shift.
You use less people.
Yes, you got a crew. Turn the radio on. Guys are hanging out. They take the shirt. They don't have to be business presentable.
Right.
They don't have to wear smocks.
Right.
They don't have to be, and they can kind of let their hair down a little bit, and they don't have to be the handsomest looking people.
Right.
You get guys that just, I'm getting my shit done, dropping pallets off, boom, boom, boom. It was the best time in the retail market of delivering at night. And all the guys, and you had the managers that be like, yo, make sure when you set my pallets, put this one right, just leave it right here. When I come in the morning, it was the best because we had no skids on the floor. We had no, and we could sell. We could sell instead of navigating shopping carts, hitting pallets and moving around. And, excuse me, ma'am, are you? So supermarkets have this problem, where they, try to do it at night, and I used to see it a lot more. I don't see it that much more because I'm seeing a way more like Walmart. They're fucking all day long.
All day long, they got trucks moving,
delivering shit all day. There's pallets all over. There's when is it like not? When is it stocked fully and let the people just go crazy? And buy shit off the shelf. Which that whole experience I can't stand.
What just
shopping, just aimlessly walking up aisles and. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, oh, hey, babe, we should get one of these. We should.
It's amazing the shit that they had. I went. What did I go into Walmart for? I went to Walmart a few weeks ago for what was that? I think like Tupperware, so I could take my lunch or something. I just went into a Walmart, and then I decided I'm just gonna walk around to see what they have, and they pretty much have everything you could ever.
Right.
I mean, you saw. Mechanics looking at tools.
Right.
You saw, of course, you saw mom looking at clothes.
Right.
You see people looking at furniture.
Yep.
You saw people looking at electronics.
Yep.
You see people looking at music. You see people looking at toys. There's like every aspect of what you would consider to consume is there.
What's it? It's no different than the TSS.
Yeah, I know, but it's just
TSS.
Yes. Times Square stores.
That was Walmart.
TSS.
That was the same concept. They had everything you needed.
Alexander's. No, Alexander's didn't have
clothes only. They only had clothes. A few toys. A few things.
But no, it's kind of it. What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
It's amazing in the sense that it could be this huge collage like everything would go there. And then there's this stigma, of course. Well, if your Walmart is cheap and all that stuff like that, and so the quality is
messing with the community.
That is great, right?
It kills the mom and pop store,
right? Exactly.
Right.
But at the same time, and then what baffles me is the people who are waiting in line for food at Walmart, like waiting for their cheap
grapes.
No, they got food there. You could buy your groceries there. But the people who are waiting at like concessions, who are getting
like pizza,
the Walmart pizza, and
I don't like
the little corner Subway, which always looks shitty. It always looks like the leftovers from the good Subway store.
Right.
It always looks like somebody just threw this shit over there. So if you got some shit left over from the other one, go and sell this.
You ever see the fucking Philly cheesesteak in the Subway, in that pot, in the little knock bin, in the metal bin? And
don't want to.
You want this? Hot or cold? Fuck you! Throw it away.
No.
Potted meat looks like. Yeah, not a fan. I do somehow have a smell memory of Blimpies.
The vinegar.
Yes.
Yes, the vinegar. Yes.
It just stays in my mind.
Yes.
Like if I smell that, I go I smell Blimpie. It's vinegar and onions.
Yes.
It's actually vinegar and onions, like a pink vinegar and onions.
So that was the yes.
It's really good smell. And when I see a Blimpies, I smell it. Like if I see that sign.
Yes. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
They are Blimpies. I start watering and I go.
I forget that they still exist. There's one off of the Hofstra campus.
There's one off Hempstead. There's one of Hempstead. There used to be one here on Sunrise, but it's not there anymore. The sign is still there, and I still go, oh, I wish they had Blimpies.
Yeah, I used to go to one on Jamaica Avenue. The one on the corner of Jamaica Avenue, and when you come up from,
of course,
when you take the bus up and you hit Jamaica Avenue,
yes,
right there on the
used
corner.
to be the train used to come all the way down. Remember? Come on, don't say that was a fucking recruitment office. The McDonald's across the street.
But the train didn't come.
The train came all the way down, bro. That was the end of the J train, which was the original
J. Yes,
E.
Yes. You're right.
I'm sorry,
it
was the F.
It was the F train.
It was the F train.
No, the F train, right?
No, it was the E train.
No, the F came down because the F.
Yes.
They stopped it because they used to run the same for a while, and they stopped it and they made it two totally different.
Well, Hillside
tracks.
had the F, which the E came this way. The E came all. I believe the E came all. The E and the J came all the way down to the end, because the J ran all the way above.
The J ran, but okay, all right, you're probably right.
And the F train was Hillside, and I remember the E and the F both came down 179th.
They used to.
That's
trail
when they
179th Street. Yes.
Before Archer was rebuilt.
Right.
Before Jamaica Center was rebuilt.
Right. No, you're right.
But the train did come all the way to the end. You used to be able to walk up the L, right there. At the Blimpies,
yes.
And there was a big billboard. And you had Maze onto the right.
Right.
Which is Department of Motor Vehicles or Toys R Us or something like that.
It ended up being Toys R Us. I don't know what it is now.
And you had
on the other side you had the
furniture
store. A little bit further down you had those two movie theaters.
Yes, RKO Alden.
The Alden
and the Valencia Theater, which is still a historic. I went in there actually. It's beautiful. I was fascinated with the architecture and the swivel.
What's there now?
It's a church.
It's a church. Okay, it's still a church.
But yeah,
I remember that was the first one to change.
Yes, it's a tabernacle church, but the architecture inside
still
is
original.
Protected. Yes, and it is the same. But it's when you go in there now, you see that blue sky ceiling that was painted, and all these candy cone architectures. I have the article of the guy who built the place and whatever else. It's amazing. It's just amazing stuff. Jamaica itself is a pretty amazing. Jamaica Avenue. Yeah, Jamaica Avenue. George Washington trotted down Jamaica Avenue.
Yeah?
Yes. Actually, Sufton, where we talked about the new development coming up over there, the post office, the general post office was on the corner of Sufton and Jamaica.
Okay.
You remember the old King's house, the mansion?
Right, yes.
Where Buddy used to hang and pick up all his
Yes,
little
we pick up
kids.
all of his friends.
George Washington came there. That was real. I read the fucking article, and when you see that King's mansion, there was John Adams and somebody else was. It was crazy. And I'm like, what? You guys were in fucking Jamaica, Queens? They tell this whole story of how he brought these. He was his army. He brought these letters and told people to do this, do that, whatever it was.
To use it as a command center.
Something like that.
Yeah,
because there's cannons in the fucking in the garden. There were cannons there that were real. I mean, it was like,
that'd be interesting to get into the history of those places.
Well, at one point I was very fascinated. Well, you know what made me do it is if you go to Archer Avenue, you know, the train station, when they made it, they put the old photos of 1800s.
1800s. It was all a dirt road and
so I started taking the tab off the thing and I Googled it and I was like, holy shit! And I started reading those stories and it was amazing. It was, I mean, from slavery to you know, farms to and then you go back and look at the blocks, like, wow, that was, you know, like when you look at Springfield Boulevard,
right?
A girl on my job, a lady on my job, Arlene Arnasio, her father owned the Springfield farm.
Really?
Yes, and she said we had cows, we had chickens. She grew up here, right on Springfield, and she said the water, we had the pond. They would graze there. We'd feed them. All that marsh back there was all farmland.
It was all farmland.
And she showed a picture of a farmhouse, horses, and, you know, like a farm. And she's like, this is Springfield Boulevard. Like, what you call Springfield Boulevard right now. My dad owned that farm. And I was like, farm? I'm like, wow. She was like, there was a small little airplane port, which is JFK. It wasn't JFK at the time. She said it was something before it became named John F. Kennedy. It was named something else. Or it was called the Jamaica
it was
Airway.
A regional airport. It was,
She said there was a racetrack, which is, you know where the Jamaica Raceway was?
The Jamaica Raceway, right.
You know where that is now? You know what's there now?
What?
Rochdale Village. Rochdale Village was Jamaica Raceway. Yes, and the Long Island Railroad, Locust Manor Station was the station for Jamaica.
Yes,
was Jamaica Railway. So when you start doing that, that shit freaks you out, man. You go back, wow. You go, wow. You know, like when I pulled up the old pictures of Oddfellows,
right,
you know,
right,
and saw that when it was thriving and it was, you know, I was like, wow, this was a real place. Like, you know, people had lives here, and the Woodhall houses, you know, this was all Polish immigrants, and you know, they were projects. You know, they were like housing projects for these Polish immigrants that were workers, and it's very interesting when you look at the community. You know,
right.
I have a picture of PS 118 when it was dirt road.
Yes, I saw that.
You saw that on my post?
I did.
So I really loved that, you know, nostalgic part of seeing, not for nothing, and you're not to, oh, it used to be slaves here, we should. No. But I can't find the history of the fucking Rock. I can't find any documentation of how it got there.
Who put it there?
Yeah, was it a fight? Was it an army? Was it a, hey, we're gonna coin this thing here, whatever? And there used to be a plaque on it that's gone, which I would have loved to have seen what it said. So it bothers me to claim the Rock. You know, I'm from 109 in the Rock and not know that history. And I don't know one fucking person that knows the history of the Rock. We all claim it.
We all claim to be. We all claim the Rock.
Yeah,
it would have to be some sort of. It would have to be some sort of landmark.
It probably is,
it would have
and
to
again,
be some sort of like designation, like a designation of something.
Yeah, it is.
It
landed.
You know, because this is, you know, we sometimes forget that, you know, we always didn't have GPS and shit like that, and streets and stuff like that.
Well,
it was just land. And
I didn't do enough homework. I Googled, you know, and then as far as it got, and I was like, I don't think this is real. This is like rappers page. Some rappers from is like, oh, this is the story of the Rock, baby. Yeah. So you know, heritage is very important, and you know, knowing what came before you, because it really,
but that there was something there before you.
Yeah.
That thrived. Yeah.
And that something, it thrived, or it had, you know, like Queens, it shows that even all the way up into the Hollis Avenue station of Long Island Railroad, it was still considered Long Island. You know, Queens, that part was still Long Island.
Right.
It didn't get Queens until like the LaGuardia area.
Right.
And like the Bronx is like the Bronx family farm, you know, it was a Bronx family.
But that was all farmland. That was
all farm.
That was all farmland. Edgar Allan Poe's places up there.
Yeah. So those things are interesting, and I guess you don't hear of enough people. I guess, you know, we say
we need griots. We need griots to like.
What's griots?
Griot is a it's a person who kind of like had the oral history of something, and they would like hand it down, and they would tell you the stories of what came before you, and then kind of your responsibility to make sure that your subsequent generation could know about that.
Do you think we lost that? I think we lost that a little bit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because once it gets printed, it's like, oh, okay, I can. Everyone has this conceived notion that if they don't need to remember it because there's Google, like they just they don't need to. We talk about the storing files in your brain and and not having enough space to keep things, and people just really write stuff off and say, I could just Google it.
I can Google it, right? I'll Google it, right?
But when they change the shit, when they tell you something different, or when they change the verbiage, and you go, wait, that's not true. That's why when I read these stories about The Rock, I was like, no, I gotta go further.
That can't be right. That can't be right.
I gotta go just a little bit further than that. Should take this call, but
hey, put it on the air. Go ahead. Tell me you're on the air.
Shy, what's up, baby? How you doing, brother?
Yeah, all right. You at your place? Or...
I'm at my crib. Yeah.
Okay, I'm on my way there. Should be within 10 minutes.
Okay, 10-4.
10-4.
Yeah, just hit me when you get outside, and I'll give you those.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool.
All right. So the last 3 tickets have been sold.
No more. No brisket for you. No turkey for you. No whatever fake Jesus or Santa that they're gonna do or whatever.
No,
that's it.
We're done. And that was somebody that canceled before, and then she was like, "Nah, my friends ain't going." She said, "Fuck them, they don't got the money." I said, "No ticket, no shirty, man. I can't do it.
No ticket, no ticket, no laundry.
No ticket, no laundry, man." So that's that, folks, man. If you missed out on any of this, feel free to rewind and
no ticket, no laundry.
No ticket, no laundry. What else is going on for the week? You got all good? We got Giants at 1 tomorrow.
Yes.
Should be fun.
Should be fun. I mean, it's officially cold now.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna stay that way.
I think it's gonna be that way now. Sun's out though, so that's cool.
I know. It's like I was gonna get out and fly this morning and fly my drone and do. It's just in cold. It's like why am I doing this?
Why am I here? Exactly.
Yeah.
Once you get like 5 minutes, like okay, it's time to go back inside.
You got to keep flying because you practice. In different climates and stuff. And I have to do a shoot for a client that wants me to film the outside of his building.
Okay.
So I'm gonna shoot the outside of his building. He's looking for like cracks and stuff, and I'm like, all right, So you got to kind of practice a little bit, and I got to practice my close quarter flying a little bit.
What are there like? You can drone anywhere?
Yeah, pretty much. When there is what they call an electric fence, it'll show up. The satellites will tell you can't fly here. 9/11 was one day. They restricted all drones was down. Like I couldn't even go in the air if I wanted to. As soon as I pull up my software. Now I can flip it over to manual. And good luck. You know what I'm saying? You lose all tracking. Everything is haywire. It's freestyle. I don't fly freestyle. I don't
no freestyle.
I don't free
no
flight.
Freestyle droning.
Nah, no free flighting, man.
No freestyle droning. It's like raw dogging.
Yeah. You can't. It's more like hot dogging, but But anyway, we're gonna get out of here, folks. Two Bros Podcast, episode 44.
Not
the Obama issue.
The Obama issue.
Now wait a minute. I didn't give you guys permission.
Michelle wrote a book.
She did. I heard. And I heard it was awesome.
Was it really?
Well, I heard people comment that it was awesome. I doubt if they read it.
Exactly.
I think they just liked the fact of having Michelle write a book. But this new news of him being directly connected to a punishable, Trump being connected to a punishable crime. Let's see where that goes.
Let's see where that goes.
Paul Manafort truly fucked this one up. He fucking... He's like, this guy is like pleading on all cases.
Yeah.
Like, yo, man.
Is that what you need to know?
And they're like, dude, you're not, at best, life.
At best, life. You don't even have another life to give.
Damn,
you got any other lives? Because we want to take those shits too.
We're going to take that from you too. All right, everybody. Remember to have a blessed day and be a blessing to somebody else.
Or fuck 'em.